What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to say right off the bat here that Season 5 in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, honestly, man, it's looking pretty solid. And I'm going to say this as well. I'm not going to go through the entire, dev diary, article thing, as there is a lot to cover there, but I will have a link in the description if you guys want to read through it. But I am going to go over some of the important things in this that, honestly, I feel like do need some bit of discussion. And there's a few things I also did want to talk about that many players probably aren't a fan of, or they just may not end up liking the way they are going to be doing the overall design of the monetization here in Test Drive. Now, right off the bat though, I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, are probably going to be like, okay, well yeah, Test Drive's getting an update, but I'm like, you know what, let me go check out the article and really see what they are going to be adding, guys. So a summary thing, they're going to be having a time cycle change, a UI overhaul, KT engine improvements, water shaders, and performance. We're going to have construction sites, which if you are wondering is basically the new houses. That is going to be pretty cool. There is going to be two of these. It is going to say you can pretty much find one of them, or giving you a hint of where one of them kind of is, but you are going to have to find the second one yourself. Personally, one of my favorite changes right now that I have to admit is we are finally getting economy changes in this game, race payouts, and also FRIM. And then later on, we're finally going to be able to sell cars, and I am so dang happy we can, do that, because a lot of people might have duplicated vehicles from the errors in the beginning. We're then going to have the vehicle improvements. They're going to be adding cruise control, bug fixes, and improvements. We're going to have the live events. Then it's going to say mid-season update is going to say monetization, previous solar pass vehicles, new vehicles, for GT pre-order. Now, right off the bat, I want to say something there. I don't really know why they would give away a pre-ordered vehicle that a lot of players probably spent a lot of money on pre-ordering this game back then. I don't really know how to feel about that, man. Like, being real, a lot of players probably spent, probably $90 on the gold edition or something. Or even if you pre-ordered this game, you probably wanted something special out of it. So, I don't know if I've ever heard of another game giving away pre-ordered items, unless we're talking about something maybe, the Crew Motorfest kind of did something similar with some of the packs there, but even that's different though. So I don't know, guys. Let me know your thoughts on that. What do you think about them giving away the pre-ordered vehicle that everyone, paid for this game early on to get something special? Maybe that something special isn't special at all. Who knows? But the first thing here, though, is going to be the time cycle. Now, again, I am going to skim through most of this. I'm not really going to go too crazy with it, but this is going to have improved lighting. I gotta admit, guys, these shadows and reflections are going to look so much better for Season 5. I gotta admit that. I can't wait to really see how this game is going to work on console. That's my biggest thing. Is we all do know a lot of players have been really concerned about PS5 and also Xbox and stuff with how this game looks. So hopefully it is going to be a good change that many players have been looking for, which I would say is something a lot of players are definitely wanting in this, especially a console player. Like, yeah, the PC version's probably going to look amazing, but let me see how the console version is going to look. Am I right? We're also then going to be getting a major UI overhaul, which honestly I could kind of see something like this improving the game a bit. Do let me know your thoughts on a UI overhaul. Did you guys like the previous one? Are you going to like the improved one? I am curious. Moving over after that, though, we're then going to have the KT engine improvements. Now, this is what I did mention earlier about the water shader, so you are going to see a difference there when looking at the water around the maps, which I gotta admit also is pretty needed. Looking at both of the maps there, you can't see how the water looked previously, so hopefully that is going to make a difference. After that, though, we are then going to have the small performance thing here, which I'm going to skim through and read part of this, guy. So it's basically going to say that, well, we are going to be dedicated to the game's optimization, so rest assured, Season 5 will not be the end of the performance improvements, which is a great thing to hear there. It's also going to say we don't expect major changes to the frame rate with the arrival of Season 5, as we optimize the game to then improve the current rendering techniques. So again, I would probably recommend, if you are going to be seeing some frame drops, which is probably going to be possible, I would like to hope that in the future that is going to be fixed. We are then going to have the construction sites after that, which is pretty much going to be two of them that you can find in the beginning of the season. It is not going to tell you where, at least it is going to say on a twisty road for one of them, but it's going to want you to find the other ones, and we will also see more of this as the season does progress. I gotta admit, that is pretty dang exciting. But the next part, guys, finally something I have been waiting for literally since launch, is we are now going to be getting economy changes. Let's talk about this right here. The race payouts. We have increased the payouts of all races found on both Ibiza and Hong Kong Island. One of the biggest changes comes to the crown jewel races, with one of them now paying, before bonuses, 1 million solar coins, dude. Like, I ain't even gonna lie, guys. That gets me so dang hyped up. Even for one of the photos, it is showing that race that I always did before is now going to be paying $600,000, man. Like, it really does get me excited. This is something I really wanted to see, and I would say a lot of players. Also, I will read this other part as well, though. You'll find all payouts have been increased and are also based on the time you put into them. So no matter how you play Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, whether it be a 2-minute navigation race, a 9-minute car delivery, or a 20-minute crown jewel, you'll be paid equally for the time you put in. Now that I am going to be interested in, though, because I do know like a lot of games have a big struggle with this. A lot of players are probably going to want to farm like a 50-second to like a minute and 20-second race, right? A lot of people aren't going to want to do a 10-minute race, but if they can equal that out and make the entire thing fun but also beneficial to the player, that is probably the best way to do it. We are then going to have the FRIM here, which I'm not really sure how people are going to take this. I'm not sure if anybody saw this part, but I am going to read through this. So this gets a complete overhaul in Season 5. Let's go over all the improvements and changes to FRIM, which we believe to be more in line with the TDU DNA and improve how players can earn and navigate in the world. FRIM now lets you earn reputation and Solar Pass XP in addition to Solar Coin output. I gotta admit that is awesome. I do like that. We've also removed the cash-in cap on FRIM, which means you can cash in as much as you want. And you're no longer limited to earning 1 million solar coins every 24 hours. Which a lot of people are like, yo, we can farm it, but there's a catch here. FRIM now levels up differently with a max of 99. Now that right there is probably going to have some mixed opinions on it, guys, but I do want to read the next part of this, though, because it might end up filling in a gap there. So it is going to say there's going to be new ways to fill up your bar for the FRIM itself. You can now pretty much just cruise around, which is going to be a way for other players to get it. And on top of that, it's also going to say previously you were always limited to the skills you could do with FRIM. We are now removing that limit, so you could drift as much as you want, cruise as much as you want, weave through traffic as much as you want, and not get penalized. This is going to be really cool because I do know a lot of players would probably want to go super fast down the highway or, weave in and out of cars. You can only do that so much before it is going to stop. So it is going to feel like that you're probably going to have more freedom now, which I gotta admit is going to be great. It is then going to say we have deleted special skill chains as it was complicated feature within FRIM. We also removed things like burnout, 0 to 100, and some other things to make the design of FRIM even more consistent. I gotta admit that is going to be pretty dope, guys, and I would say that is going to be a good change. I'm probably going to do some testing on this, and I might even end up making a video about it. We are then going to have the car selling feature. It's coming, although we mentioned the developer diary, we weren't sure when it would arrive. We decided to bring this feature to Season 5's economy improvements. You'll be able to find this NPC in the Solar Hotel. It is then going to read, once you open up the menu, you'll be able to sell your vehicles with the sell prices varying depending on the odometer distance, upgrades, and the vehicle options you have added at the dealership or workshop. Your depreciation price will also change depending on the vehicle itself. For example, a daily driver will have a lower depreciation value than a hypercar, which I really don't know why that have to be mentioned because there is no way somebody's going to try to sell an Abarth for the price of a Lamborghini Centenario, but hey, why not? Am I right? Let's just inflate the prices up a bit, right? Looking at you, Grand Theft Auto. We are then going to have some vehicle improvements. Again, guys, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but you are going to have cruise control, which is honestly pretty dope if you do want to use that. We are going to have some bug fixes and improvements after that. Like, for example, the AMG GTR Black Series is going to have improved turn signals, and also the Mustang as well. Not going to go over that too much, but at least that is going to be a nice change. We're also going to get licensed clothing, which will be fairly interesting again coming later on, so that will be pretty dope. But here's the part I did want to go over, the mid-season update. This is going to say, unlike the last seasons, there will be no feature content arriving in the mid-season update. However, we don't want there to be any surprises when it comes to monetization in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. The mid-season update will bring the online store, which will allow players to purchase licensed clothing, vehicles, previous live event rewards, and more. So let's quickly discuss this. This is going to read monetization. Items in the online store will be purchasable with diamonds. With the addition of this shop, we will be giving players the ability to earn free diamonds by claiming their diamonds in the store once a week. Apparently, it was said that you can get like 100 or something like that, I think is what it was saying. We are then going to have previous Solar Pass vehicles. Currently, players do not have any way to earn the previous Solar Pass vehicles. In the mid-season update, we will be adding the previous Solar Pass vehicles to the online shop for players to purchase. Again, this is kind of going to be along the entire line of the FOMO thing. And I really do think, guys, honestly, the FOMO thing just needs to end in these games. And I'm going to say something right now that's kind of bold. We just need to get rid of battle passes and the entire FOMO thing behind them. But here's the thing. Keep battle passes in there, but here's the thought. Why can't you just go in and activate older battle passes if you want to go through them? If you finish one battle pass, why can't you go in and do an old one? Like, activate that. That will give players something else to do. Who would have thought? But instead of, doing that method, they're probably going to add the way to monetize it so you can make money. So I can kind of see where people are getting with that. Not the best way to do it, I think. We're then going to have new vehicles. Every season, we will be releasing 3 additional vehicles to the online store. These vehicles will be specially licensed or unlicensed body kits of the existing vehicles in-game, or they will be completely licensed special models of existing vehicles in-game. An example of this is the Mercedes-Benz AMG SLS Black Series arriving in the online store in Season 6, or the Nissan GTR, the Tiger, which is going to be a wide body kit arriving in the mid-season update for Season 5. So I'm going to say right off the bat that some of these decisions being made might not go all that well with players, or it's definitely going to make people vocal on some of the odd decisions or certain things with FOMO and monetization, which honestly, I can't really argue that stuff. The other part here is going to be the 4GT pre-order. So this vehicle is a pre-order bonus that is then going to be made possible to purchase later on as well. Do let me know what you guys think about that. People might be wondering when this is going to arrive or the Season 5 update. It is going to say Season 5 will be arriving late October, and we will be revealing its exact date next month. Before the release, we'll be seeing console and PC gameplay, which I am super happy about. It is then going to say taxi missions and poker teases and a developer live stream that will cover all the features arriving in Season 5. So overall, guys, I gotta admit, there is going to be a lot of good positive changes in this update that I really do think can get this game on track. But with that being said, though, I do think some of the things with the entire Battle Pass and the diamonds and the monetization is going to be a pretty odd decision. I can't wait to see what y'all say about this in the comments below. What do you guys think about Season 5? What are your honest thoughts on it? And what do you think about the entire Battle Pass and monetization method that they are using in this game?